The episode starts off with Clarence wanting to do the pumpkin portal, where two people look in opposite ends of the pumpkin. His friends, Chad, Tyler, and Mavis just staring a declining look at Clarence. I gotta say though, what is Clarence's costume right here? Who is he supposed to dress up as? When I thought about it, I just saw a yellow diamond from Steven Universe. Anyways, Clarence points to the candy mountain. At least they could eat all of that, right? We jump cut to all of them groaning because they ate too much candy. I get it, I've eaten shit tons of candy before, and I had a mild headache the same night. Not being able to sleep and just being an absolute little annoying kid to my family. Sorry fam. Clarence falls asleep and we see him wake up in a ball pit. Hey, there's a random pig in the background. Wonder what he's doing over there. A pink fish, blob, whatever, shows up and starts to suck Clarence. Not in that way. Get your brain out of the gutters, people. Clarence allows himself to get sucked. Dagnabbit. Clarence allows himself to get eaten by the pink blob all the while laughing. Clarence then wakes up from the dream, chuckling and saying that dreams aren't real. He then catches a glimpse of the pumpkin and picks it up. Clarence gives it a thought before deciding to put it onto Chad's face. Clarence says,
"Yeah, dreams aren't real,"
before falling asleep. Man, I wish I could fall asleep that fast. The amount of overthinking about life I could save. Well anyways. Clarence falls deep into Chad's subconscious, and we see Chad working in an office talking to Mary, his girlfriend slash Clarence's mom, on the phone. The computer then begins to have pop-ups with captions such as "Failure is you," "Tidy the house please," "Get a job," "Get a haircut," a picture of Mary angry and with a caption "Don't let me down Chad," and finally ending with a pop-up of Mary with Clarence's teacher saying she's with him now. From all of this, we can see Chad's many fears and insecurities, thinking he's a failure, he can't tidy the house, he is unemployed, and finally, Mary leaving him for somebody else. All realistic insecurities one in their midlife would have, I think, because I'm not in my midlife yet. I love the fact that we are told any of this and instead shown through the visuals for us to pause and read it to figure it out. Chad goes under the table to unplug the computer, but finds it difficult deciding which plug is the computer's. The phone then starts squirting this pink goo onto Chad, all the while Mary is yapping. Clarence tells Chad it's just a dream and hangs up the phone. In reality, Chad doesn't have a job, and I guess working is just one of his nightmares. But not gonna lie, that's a solid nightmare to have. 10 out of 10 in the fear scale. Chad then magically gets an electric guitar and starts playing. Clarence says his birthday is done before hearing Mary in the distance repeat this.
"Don't let me down, Chad. Don't let me down, Chad."
A pink goo can be seen from where the voice was coming from, and when Clarence turns back to Chad, he sees the computer and Chad's chair covered with this pink goo substance. Clarence wakes up and Chad isn't anywhere to be found. Strange. On a side note, imagine how awesome Dream multiplayer would be. Me and Bo would probably play on horror mode and have a blast with it. Clarence thinks Chad just went to the bathroom and sees Skyler having a bad dream. He decides to help him out by going to his dream. We get the sickest transition from Gyler's big nose in the pumpkin to the sun in the sky. We then see Gyler in a ladle boat, with the rain cloud raining only on him, despite their surroundings being clear. Gyler desperately tries to bail out his ladle with his hat before Clarence arrives on a giant swan. Clarence tells Gyler it's just a dream and the swan sucks the rainy cloud. Clarence then pinches Gyler's nose and disgustingly, a candy worm comes out. Gyler uses this worm as bait and starts fishing. Gyler catches a gummy fish that lands on the water like it's ground. Gyler walks on water, goes to the fish to pick it up and shows it off to Clarence. The fish then starts coughing candy at him, before the fish starts making noise straight out of the grudge, and again with the pink goo coming out of the fish's mouth. Gyler then loses his chakra control and falls down into the water. Clarence sees Gyler's reflection in the water and then this.
friends.
You know something's up when the quiet kid screams. Clarence wakes up and again, one of his friends is nowhere to be found. Clarence then thinks maybe Gyler is in the bathroom. With Chad? I didn't know Chad was a YouTuber. Clarence goes into the bathroom to stream, but Chad and Gyler aren't in the bathroom. Clarence says that something weird is going on before seeing Mavis having a nightmare. Clarence goes into her dreams to help her out. I'm just realizing how invasive this kinda is because you can go to another subconscious thought and maybe find out a secret or two about them. Clarence opens his eyes to Mavis, who I'm assuming asks him a question what he wants to order on the menu. Joshua appears.
It's Josh!
And I assume asks if they're ready to order. Except for Clarence, everyone there talks like Mavis with the wah wah wah. That's the best Mavis impression you're gonna get from me, okay guys? Mavis gets distracted by the people in the restaurant, and we see that everyone talks like the parents from that old cartoon show, Peanuts. Mavis seems to get distressed from all of this and starts to freak out. Clarence comforts her and tells her it's just a dream, which then Mavis coughs up that pink goo and speaks for what I know the first and last time in this show.
Thank you, Clarence.
Everyone then disturbingly turns their head to them and stares. This shot shows how alien they must feel, isolated from this uncanny group of people. The piano starts to play this offbeat melody that captures the moment of something not being quite right. The pink goo Mavis coughed up walks up to the piano, and we see a bigger pink goo that forms into Balance. Clarence notices Chad and Gyler in Balance's stomach and says he's not being very nice right now. I agree. Balance is being a douchebag right now.
Very well, douchebag.
Clarence and Mavis runs away, all the while an incredibly piece of crescendo plays in the background, like when you're being chased in a horror game. Mavis gets caught, and Clarence wakes up. Clarence is now all alone. Without anyone else there, he decides to go into his dream next. We see a funny montage of Clarence playing sooth music and drinking milk. I guess this is so he could sleep. I mean, he could sleep fine earlier. This doesn't seem all that necessary. Clarence puts the pumpkin portal onto the mirror and easily falls asleep. Clarence appears in the ball pit again, and we see the pig earlier, with him holding a mug. The pig then turns into Jeremy, Clarence's friend. He appeared in an older episode. Jeremy says Balance is taking their dream energy, and he doesn't elaborate any further. I wonder what that means. Clarence has to learn to control his dreams in order to beat Balance, and we cut to a training montage. At the end of it, Clarence asks Jeremy if he thinks he is ready, and Jeremy says he's close enough. Clarence's face looks nervous, and Jeremy tells him that dreams aren't real, only the way they make you feel is real. So Clarence shouldn't be scared. Clarence cheers up from this and asks how they are going to find Balance. The warm blue sky gets taken over by dark cold thunderclouds. Balance appears as a giant and captures Jeremy. Balance then shoots out monster candies at Clarence. Clarence dodges the first one and transforms the second into a flying Pop-Tart. Clarence and Balance goes back and forth in sending creatures at one another. I never thought I'd get to see a battle scene in Clarence, but damn, that was cool. At the end though, Balance shoots Clarence with 3 giant gummy bears and eats Clarence. Clarence falls into the stomach and reunites with everyone else. Clarence then says he wanted to get eaten, and that it's his dream so he could do whatever he wants. Balance says he's having a nightmare, and Clarence disagrees. He's having fun, so he's dreaming. Clarence thinks of an exit through Balance's back door, and they slide down. Balance deflates like a balloon, and we see him in his regular size. Clarence tells Balance that he should give hugs instead of nightmares. All of them hug Balance, and he disturbingly dies and turns to the pink goo, while everyone else just cheers. It reminds me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared for some reason. Everyone around him disappears except for Jeremy. He's starting to wake up. Clarence asks Jeremy if he will ever see him again, and Jeremy says, only in his dreams. Clarence wakes up, and we see everyone beside him now. Clarence tells them about their dreams before Clarence's mom appears. He asks if they wanted to have a late night candy feast, and all of them distressingly stares at her before Clarence says no.